What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video, definitely leave a comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we drop a video. A lot of people have asked me to do a video on the rapper Fetty Wap. You know, people have asked me questions like, how much time is he really facing? Is he going to go to federal prison? Do you think he'll get out of it? What prison will he go to? Will he be in danger? So I'm going to answer, all of your guys' questions. Everybody asks questions, we're going to answer them today. Most of you know I was a jailhouse lawyer for many, many years while I was in federal prison, served 18 years almost, and spent most of my time in that law library, helped over 100 men and women get out of prison through post-conviction motions, clemency, compassionate release. I did a lot of things in there. And I'm still doing them while I'm out here trying to help people that deserve a second chance. So I went on the pacer. I pulled Fetty Wap's indictment, right? 2-count indictment. The first count is a drug conspiracy count. Second count is a 924C count, which I consider myself an expert on 18 U.S.C. 924C. And for those of you that don't know what it is, it's possession of a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking crime and or a crime of violence. In this case, a couple of these guys are charged with guns in furtherance of a drug conspiracy. And what happens with that case is you get an extra 5 years on top of whatever you're going to get on the drugs. But as of right now, your boy Fetty Wap, he's not charged in that count. But there's other things that the government can do. So this first count involves 1 kilogram of heroin. And I want to read just a little part of this, right? Because they always use these words. The amount of heroin, fentanyl, and cocaine base involved in conspiracy attributed to Anthony Leonardi, Robert Leonardi, Sullivan, and Wiggins as a result of their own conduct and the conduct of other conspirators reasonably foreseeable to them was A, 1 kilogram or more. Remember that word, or more, of a substance containing heroin. 400 grams or more of a substance containing fentanyl. 5 kilograms or more of a substance containing cocaine. And 280 grams or more of a substance containing cocaine base. That's crack for those of you that don't know. The amount of cocaine involved in the conspiracy attributed to Maxwell II and Singetti as a result of their own conduct and the conduct of other co-conspirators reasonably foreseeable to them, was 5 kilograms or more of a substance containing cocaine. I want you to remember them words, or more, reasonably foreseeable. Because if you're a young man watching this video right now, I want you to know what you're up against, man, when you're in the streets. I want you to know what Fetty Wap is up against. Those dudes in the music industry getting some money. Obviously, he's getting money. And he jumps into the drug game. Sometimes I have to ask myself, why do these dudes do this shit, right? That's not the point right now. The point is I'm about to explain to you what's going to happen. The indictment was from June 2019 and June 2020. They waited all this time, over a year, to grab these dudes. And their job is to protect the public. So you're protecting the public, but you knew these dudes were selling drugs all this time back then, but yet you waited all this time to arrest them. Why did they do that? I'm going to tell you why. Because although they charged them with 1 kilo of fentanyl or more, you might think, okay, so 1 kilo of fentanyl, the 5 kilograms of cocaine that Fetty Wap's charged with, 5 kilograms or more of cocaine. That's the part of the indictment that he's involved in. So you would think, okay, 5 kilograms, the statutory minimum is 10 years, the maximum is life. What is the statutory minimum, Chad? That's the mandatory minimum that Congress sets. They say you have to get at least 10 years and you can get up to life. But then we also have this thing called the sentencing guidelines, and I'm going to put a picture of that up, where they go to these sentencing guidelines and they say, okay, your criminal history is a 2 or it's a 3 or a 4, and down here is your base offense level. This is where you would be at. And on this chart, you're going to get this much time, right? So let me see. I think I know. I'm going to bust out my Busted by the Feds book. This is a book that I used in prison for many, many years. I brought it home with me. When I left prison, the only thing I brought with me was my jailhouse lawyer manual, my Busted by the Feds book, all my law books, my 2255 book. So although I'm going to put this up, I'm going to show it to you as we're talking because I want you to see it. That is the sentencing guideline chart. And that's what tells the judge, hey, look, This is where you're at. This is the range that you're in. So with 5 kilograms or more, right, we go to the drug quantity table. The drug quantity table, this is what that looks like. I want you to see this too. That tells us what your base offense level will be. So let's just say it was 5 kilograms of cocaine. We're going to go over here to cocaine, 5 kilograms. So they got base offense level 30, 3.5 kilograms up to 5 kilograms, right? Then they got base offense level 32, at least 5 kilograms up to 15 kilograms. 34 is 15 kilograms to 50 kilograms. And then level 36 is 50 kilograms to 150 kilograms. And that's where we're going to stop at right there. Because from the stuff that I'm reading, there's 16 kilos actually seized, right? So that 5 kilograms or more, we're already past the 5 kilograms. We're at 16 because there's 16 kilograms seized in the conspiracy. Remember that word, reasonably foreseeable? That means that if me and you are in a conspiracy and you go tell someone, hey man, I can get you 100 kilograms. Pretty much it doesn't even matter if you can get them. I've seen people convicted and sentenced based on just saying, yo, I can get you 100 kilograms. If my co-defendant says that to someone, I'm held reliable for that because we're in the conspiracy together. The government does that stuff. You probably heard about the words ghost dope. That's the drugs that they never find, but they sentence you for. Well, you know what? We only found 5 kilograms, but we're going to sentence you for 200 kilograms because we believe there's a reasonable belief that you were involved in this much cocaine or you were involved in this much cocaine base. And that's what they do. Then they jack your base offense level up. So I'm thinking that, Fetty Wap, because I've read like 100 kilograms involved in the conspiracy. We know that there was $1.5 million. And that's the other thing that the feds do. They'll take the $1.5 million and they convert that. What do you mean they convert it? What do they convert it into, Chad? Well, they convert it into drugs. Let's say the government says the going rate for a kilogram of cocaine is, in New York, $30,000 right now. I don't know what the prices are. I've been out of the drug game a long time. But let's say they're saying it's $30,000, right? And they're going to add up 1.5 million at 30,000 a kilogram, and then they're going to charge you with all of those kilograms too. That's called relevant conduct. That's how they bang you. So let's say Fetty Wap is a criminal history category 1, base offense level 36. Right, we're going to go into the jailhouse order manual, page 78. I know this page by heart. Let's say he's at a base offense level 36 with a criminal history category of 1. I think he's got a little bit of a criminal history, though. Not too bad, but I think he has one. So he would be at 188 to 235 months. Off the top of my head, what is that? It's 15 years, 8 months to 19 years, 7 months, I think, off the top of my head. So you're like, damn, this dude's facing 15 years, at least 15, but up to 19 just off of that, right? Just off 100 kilos. Let's say he pleads guilty, right? Oh, and I forgot to put this part in there. They also give you 3 points for acceptance of responsibility. So if you go in there and you say, hey, I'm guilty, they'll take 3 points off. So let's take the 3 points off. 1, 2, 3. That brings him to a level 33. He's facing 135 to 168. That's 11 years to 14 years in prison. Mandatory minimum is 10 years. So you got to get 10 years, right? There's ways to get below that. We could discuss that in another video as time, progresses on this case. So you think, damn, he's facing 11 to 14 years. That's a long time out of your life. But that's not the only thing that the government does. When we get to this chart, the government also has what they call enhancements. Like I said, the second count is a 924C count, possession of a firearm and furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. Fetty Wap's not charged in that. But I can guarantee you that the government will put what is called a weapon enhancement. Because people involved in the conspiracy had guns. I can't say for sure, but I'll bet you somebody says that they've seen Fetty Wap in possession of a weapon in this case. Believe me, this case is far from over. The investigation is not done. The investigation that was going on back in June 2019, it's still ongoing. As they arrest people, they learn more. Why do they learn more? You know why. You've seen First 48, right? So So as they learn more, that's when they start adding the enhancements. Do you think Fetty Wap was only involved in cocaine? Perhaps that's all he was involved in. But I guarantee you that there's other people that are going to come in and say, oh no, he was involved in the fentanyl, or, he also sold some crack. That's what they do. Even if it ain't true, people do that. And then they start adding enhancements. Then they start converting the crack that they say Fetty Wap was involved in. They start converting that, and they turn that into more cocaine, and they sentence them based on that, right? 2-point enhancement. So let's say we're at level 33. We move up 2 points for a gun. That puts him at 168 to 210. That's if he's a criminal history category 1. 168 to 210, what is that, 14 to 17 years? What do you think Fetty Wap's going to get? What do you think is going to happen to Fetty Wap? What do you think he's thinking right now? Do you think he's nervous? Do you think he understands that there's a mandatory minimum of 10 years and a statutory maximum of life? That means the judge could give him anywhere between 10 years and life. He could give him 30 years if he wants, if he's convicted, right? I doubt Fetty Wap's going to trial. He's probably going to plead guilty. And the government has all kinds of power, too. He could plead guilty to something far less. He could waive an indictment. The government drops these charges. He waives indictment on a lower amount of cocaine, and he cops out. And he ends up with 87 to 108 months. And maybe the judge gives him 87 months. But I'm thinking that he's probably going to get anywhere between 10 and 12 years in federal prison, depending on the decisions that he makes as the case progresses. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that if he plays games and wants to go to trial and push, then they're going to hit him with everything they can. And there's going to be people that are going to line up to bang his ass. Trust me. There's a correctional officer, prison cop involved in the case, 2 brothers involved in the case. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Where will Fetty Wap end up in prison at? Where's he from? Jersey? Case is out of New York. Depending on what address he gives them, depending on where his people are living at, if it's in Jersey, with that kind of sentence, no big criminal history. How old is he? 30 years old? I bet he ends up in Fort Dix. What is Fort Dix like? Fort Dix is a federal prison in Jersey. And pretty much it's just a wild type of place. It's a low security prison. There's a fence around it. But it's a prison where you can do whatever you want to do. You can run around. You can get drunk over there. You can get high over there. There is some violence. I know there was some people that have been stabbed there. But it's not real super big on like stabbing, stuff like that. Usually a lot of knuckling up, a lot of fist fights. That's probably where Fetty Wap will end up, probably in a place like that. If he gives an address down south, perhaps he might end up in Jessup or Coleman. But I guarantee it's probably going to be Fort Dix. Maybe we'll come back and revisit this after the sentencing, after the trial, in the event he's convicted. But I want you to think about that when you're watching the video. This dude's out here getting money, man. He's rapping. He's, with all these chicks. He had a bunch of hits. He's out there living the life, right? He's living the life. And he's obviously got some bread. He just bailed out on $500,000 bail. He's on an ankle monitor. He's got some bread, so he'll be able to take care of himself. And, when you get famous people in there, you always got some chicks that'll come see you. Remember the kid at Darius Mazio Black? Had the face transplant. I mean, he still had chicks. He had a life sentence. But he had chicks for as long as he had money. Women would still come visit him for as long as he had something to contribute. And a lot of people don't have that. When you go to federal prison, you run out of money quick. Lawyers, taking care of family, commissary, it don't last long. Then everything disappears. So how will Fetty Wap live in prison? Will he be all right? Yeah, he'll be all right. I think I think there's some videos where he says that he's a blood, right? He'll probably roll with the homies, roll with the Jersey dudes. People will be like, man, but he's a celebrity. He's going to be on the compound. Will someone do something to him? Probably not. That's shit they used to do back in the day, man. They don't just hit celebrities like that, dudes that are rappers. He's got some homies from Jersey. He's a street dude, right? He ain't going to let no one just do anything to him. And the homies ain't going to let anyone just do anything to him. So Fetty Wap will probably be all right as far as prison goes. But how about the nights when he's going to lay in his cell and think about all the things he could have had, all the things he should have had, all the things that he did have that he no longer has? What are those things? You might be thinking that beautiful house, that fast car, it's been pulled over for driving, fast DWIs, all the gold chains. Don't have all that stuff no more, right? But that ain't the thing that's going to hurt. The thing that's going to hurt at night is he's going to lay in that cell, he's going to lay in that bunk and be bored as hell. And he's going to say, damn, man, the thing that I lost that was most precious was my freedom. Can't replace that. Can't replace that. And he probably won't get as lucky as Kodak Black, right? Kodak Black got out under Trump. He only had like 46 months. Trump let him out. I think Fetty Wap's facing a lot more time. They don't play games in the Eastern District of New York. They don't give a shit if you're a celebrity. They don't care if you got money in the Eastern District. They will bang you in the head with a hammer and put you in prison and throw away the key. And that's what it's all about, man. You had this dude who was living probably in some parts his best life, according to him, before he was ever in the drug game. Or maybe he was in the drug game and got out and got back in. This dude had money, man. This dude had a career. This dude had people that love him and still do. Fans and family. But he gave it all away for what? For the streets? That's the thing that people don't understand. You can give all you want to the streets, but the streets never give you anything back. Give the streets all the love you want. But the streets are cruel and they're cold. They don't always give you back love. Some of the homies might, but not the streets, man. Get out of the street. I'm telling you now, get out of the street. Because you could be just like Fetty Wap, walking out with a gray sweatsuit on, some brand new crispy kicks. And then, 7 or 8 months, you'll be walking back into that same prison or the Federal Bureau of Prisons with that same sweatsuit on. Same gray sweatsuit, same kicks, knowing that this is it. Going away. Not for a year, not for 2 years. For 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, 11, 12. That's when that shit hurts. He's got a bunch of kids, too. He got 4 or 5 kids. No, one of his daughters passed away. So all those kids, their father, their hero, their provider, their financial support, that shit's probably all gone, man. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? Let's wait and see what happens with Fetty Wap. Let's see if I'm right. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share that video with respect. Until tomorrow, we're out.